Hey, Paul. Hello, son. How are you?
Good evening. I'm calling this meeting of the Wendell Town Board of Commissioners to order. I want to welcome everyone. Thank you for being here on this stormy night. We've got a lot of fun things we're going to talk about tonight. Please stand up. Police Chief Bill Carter is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our invitation tonight is going to be from Wendell Baptist Church. It's Errol Briggerman. Thank you for being here with us tonight.
Thank you. Let's pray. Lord, we just thank you for this, how we've been blessed in this wonderful community. We just thank you, Lord, for all the things that are happening here. We know, Lord, that your hand is in it. We just pray, Lord, for our board tonight, the decisions they have to make, actually steers and guides and directs our community. We just ask you, Lord, that you watch over them and direct them. And we just, again, Lord, thank you for how you have blessed this community. For all these things we ask in your blessed name. Amen.
We have no one signed up for public comment tonight. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Oh, did I skip adjustment of the agenda?
You did.
I did. All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any adjustments to the agenda? I'm sorry, Commissioner Boyd.
It's fine. Can we add a 5A or 6A,
Yes.
Mayor's pleasure, to discuss the citywide speed limit?
Let's put it 5A.
Okay.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as adjusted?
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 3, resolution adopting a tax foreclosure policy between Wake County and the town of Wendell.
Thanks.
Madam Mayor, members of the board, the town of Wendell's current tax lien foreclosure resolution was approved in 1986, 30 years ago, so it has been some time, and the Wake County continues to collect taxes for the town of Wendell. Since that time, the general statutes have been amended, elected officials have changed, and turnover of staff at the county as well as at the town. And after talking with the finance director for Wake County and the tax collector for Wake County, Marcus, as well as our finance director, Butch Kay, what we thought would be best is to just kind of renew everyone's knowledge of our process, and when we go through that and adopt a resolution, just because of the amount of time that's passed. Way we have done this in the past is if I have a piece of property and taxes haven't been paid, then it is put on the courthouse steps for sale. If for some reason it doesn't, then it will default to the town to pay taxes and become property of the town of Wendell, and then we can dispose of it as is. One of our most recent properties was actually a piece of property on 3rd Street, and it was sold on the court steps. Now, if it hadn't, again, it would have been something that would have been brought to the town for us to pay the taxes on and become property of the town of Wendell. Again, nothing has changed in this resolution. It is a matter of updating just for everyone to be aware of the process, because it takes years to go through this type of process. Usually taxes are in arrears for several years. And as we go through it, we just want to make sure that the board is aware. We have asked for them to look at some of the properties that have been arrears on taxes for quite a long period of time, and at some point in time may come back up before this board.
Does anybody have any questions for Ms. Piner?
So we're changing nothing in this policy, that was the part that kind of got me.
That is correct. It is just, as you see by the one that is there, it was 30 years ago, and it's just a matter of refreshing it. That we are still, the ordinances as far as state statutes have changed. It is just a matter of refreshing that and bringing it to everyone's attention.
Teresa, I have a quick question.
Yes.
If a property is sold and it brings less money than what the taxes are owed, are we on the hook for that? Is the town
It would start at the
responsible?
minimum, and I'm glad you asked that. It would start at the minimum. It would start at what the taxes were owed, and it would be like the town of Wendell would be like the first bidder
Okay,
on that, and it would go up from there.
gotcha.
Are there any other questions? Do I have a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor? Item number 4, discussion and action of a proposed mural to be located at 15 West 4th Street.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the board. The Board of Commissioners is requested to review, discuss, and take action on the Appearance Commission's recommendation regarding a mural application. At the August 1st meeting, the Appearance Commission reviewed this application and voted 4-0 approval of a mural application for the west end of 15 West 4th Street, which is where Rich's Gym is. Over the course of the past 2 years, the commission has held fundraisers to help with beautification efforts around town. Over the past year, they've raised approximately over the past 2 years, they've raised approximately $7,000, all with money given by private individuals. The Appearance Commission contacted Michael Brown, a professional muralist from Carrboro with over 30 years of experience, to create mural ideas to honor Wendell's tobacco heritage. Based on prior mural feedback from residents and business owners, the Appearance Commission felt that a tobacco theme was the next desired theme for a mural. Tonight we have actually Michael Brown's here with us. He drove from Carrboro to be here tonight, and we'll let him do some talking here in a little bit. Just a little bit of background on some of the work he's done. This is the bull at the Durham's baseball park out in the outfield that he created. This is at East Chapel Hill High School, I believe, at their athletic complex. This is at City Market in downtown Raleigh with different fruits and vegetables, and within some of the fruits and vegetables are faces of prominent people from around Raleigh. And that's just a blow up of one of the pumpkin there. This is in Elkin, of kind of a historic scene of their train depot and river. This is also in Elkin's little history of a collection of businesses that used to be in Elkin. And this is at the Raleigh Amtrak station. And some sea turtles, believe, where was that? In Chapel Hill. So Mr. Brown was asked to design a mural on Cypress Street end of the building since it provided a large canvas to properly depict a tobacco mural. Mr. Brown created several sketches for the Appearance Commission to review and decide on a specific theme to move forward with a more detailed sketch. The Appearance Commission voted at their May meeting to move forward with a mural depicting the world's largest tobacco worm as a fun way of honoring Wendell's rich history of tobacco. The worm would also serve to stir controversy among citizens about farming and art. This mural is proposed to give Wendell a bit of a bold shock factor to help create a buzz for the town. The Appearance Commission is going to work on creating a QR code to put on the mural so that anyone could scan the code and go to a website dedicated for the mural. On the webpage, people could leave their stories about working in tobacco and their encounters with the tobacco worms. Almost everyone who's worked in tobacco has a story to tell, and this would be one of those ways to capture those stories. The desire is that news stations and newspapers would cover the mural, giving Wendell publicity within the triangle, and the Appearance Commission would also apply with the Guinness World Records to officially have the worm deemed the world's largest tobacco worm. The mural could also be used to help local schools and FFA groups learn about the long history of tobacco in the Wendell area. The Appearance Commission would reach out to the Wendell Elementary School and East Wake High School to gauge interest in incorporating the mural into their lesson plans. The Appearance Commission voted to fund the cost of the proposed mural due to its prominent location along Cypress Street and the fun interpretation of the tobacco history in Wendell. The proposed mural consists of a 70-foot-long tobacco worm and a tobacco leaf. Mr. Brown submitted a revised sketch on August 3rd, which was included in your packet as Attachment A. I'll let Mr. Brown give a little background on why he came up with the tobacco worm and share his enthusiasm for it.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, and administrators. Why did I? This is quite an out there idea, isn't it? And no one else has one, and that's kind of a good thing. In the sense that it's unique, it gets attention, it's very colorful. The idea came, I'd been down to advise Wendell on murals, having done it for 3 decades. I was asked a few years ago to come down and advise, and you all have done 1 or 2 since then. And then I got another call stating that they had a rather large wall, it's 18 by 70, and a rather small budget. And of course, when you look at tobacco heritage, you immediately think of the history of the warehouses and the auctions and the growers and the farm workers planting, harvesting, curing, etc. And the budget is just not going to support that much detail and that many subject matters and that many very, if you want to do it right, a human figure is quite demanding and expensive to do. It takes a lot of time. But I really wanted to do something, and something fun. So I hit on this idea, having grown up around tobacco worms and known that they get an immediate response. They just do. Everyone who I've mentioned the idea says, that's a great idea, I love them. And then they start to tell me a story about their North Carolina experience with these big, green, ugly, crawling things. And they're really not that ugly. They're a beautiful green color and they have a big red spike. So I just said to Patrick, almost offhand, why don't we do the world's largest tobacco worm? It'll be unique. It'll get in the News and Observer. It'll probably get on WTVD or WRAL. It might get in the Guinness Book. And everybody who's driving through town is going to want to stop with their kids and have their picture taken in front of it. Having done this kind of thing for 30 years and having done many, many examples of towns wanting to have a historical scene, that's the first thing everybody thinks of, but it may not be the most creative or even the most inspiring or stimulating thing. So this does the jobs, various jobs. It fits your budget. It creates a big attention-getting splash of color. It evokes an emotional response and brings storytelling to the forefront, and the QR code was an idea that I think will be really great with that. And it fits the size of the wall, which is long and narrow. It's something I can do within the context of 2 or 3 weeks so that it can stay within your budget. It's just a unique idea that's going to get a lot of people talking about Wendell, and it's so amazing how many people. I'm very excited about the idea. I really believe in it. And it's amazing. I talk to everyone and I say, you know what I'm going to do down in Wendell? I got to go one more meeting. It's going to be the world's largest tobacco worm, and it's going to be amazing. And everybody goes, wow, that's really creative. That's really fun. So your appearance, I forget their exact title, Appearance Commission, Public Art Commission, were the majority, all but one, were quite enthusiastic about it, and that was a woman who'd had them put down her back. And I convinced her with the QR code that she could tell all that story, how the boys used to do, and the visitors would get the fuller picture. And it stimulated a lot of talking about other aspects in my work in the warehouse, which was horrible, and my wife's work, and everybody else, and their grandfathers and what they did. So I just think it's a good idea. It's one of the most creative, and I think going to be one of the more effective ideas I've done in 30 years. And especially, you know, I'm a guy who's always enjoyed fitting the idea to the budget, and it really works that way. So not only do you get something I think is going to make a big splash, be something pretty good, but you get something that's going to fit your budget. And the argument or the discussion, and I don't know if I have a time limit, but I should probably be quiet now. One of the arguments that we discussed or I brought up is, you know, no guts, no glory. And not guts of the tobacco worm, I mean, yuck. But I mean, you know, take a risk. If the Arts Commission spends those private funds and they drop $2,500, and in 18 months, you decide this maybe wasn't the greatest idea, you've paid about $3 a day to take a really brave and interesting experiment that really could well prove to be one of the coolest things in Wendell. So that's about it. I guess I tended to run along there, but if there are questions, I'd be happy to approach. I'm likely to say anything, so go ahead and ask it.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Brown?
Didn't you get some grant money to go along with it or something?
Oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I did raise some extra money for it. I happen to know a guy that's owner of a large Raleigh construction firm, and I was looking at a job over in Greensboro for him, and he was at the meeting, and I said, hey, Charlie, as C.T. Wilson, Charlie, listen, I'm going to do this cool thing, but they're pretty tight. So he volunteered to give $800 more bucks. So your real budget, you may have it in front of you, is $3,200 rather than $2,500 or $3,300. Yeah, 33 it would be. But I kind of sold him on the worm idea. I'm not sure he just, you know, we might be back to square one if we, that's probably political speech. I shouldn't, yeah. So that's that. But thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you for your enthusiasm.
Oh, I have extreme enthusiasm. It's embarrassing at my age that I should get so excited.
I like it. Thank you.
As Mr. Brown stated, you know, he expects the work to be completed in about 2 weeks' time. He does have availability in his schedule to begin work pretty immediately. If action were delayed, he doesn't know if he could complete it before the Harvest Festival, which was the goal of the Appearance Commission. So that's what we have, and here is the unveiling of the proposed mural.
And you would like a decision tonight if possible?
If possible, yes.
Okay. All right.
I just have a few comments. Over the last year or so, I've heard a lot of talk about coming up with a mascot, you know, for Wendell. And I think if you paint a 70-foot worm on a building, whether you want it to be or not, that's going to be the mascot.
That may have been an ulterior motive for the future for the Appearance Commission.
And for the record, they just don't, they're not just pests for tobacco, they hurt grapevines as well. So I see those guys in my vineyard every spring.
Oh, yeah, and you know what else? NASA sent them up in space because they have rapidly developing nervous systems that are great for testing zero-gravity conditions for neurological growth. So NASA spent a whole mess of them up in space and put them on the shuttle circling around Earth, which is kind of cool. That's a weird thing.
I usually just spray mine with 7 Dust.
Are there any other comments from the board?
I have one. This is just an idea, but I heard the name Toby getting tossed around, and if the name Toby's already been settled on, that's one thing, but I think it'll be fun to let the school kids come up with a name for this giant worm. If Toby's already the name.
The Appearance Commission definitely floated the idea of a naming contest once it's painted.
I think that'd be great.
Can I speak spontaneously, or should
You
I
want-
stand up? I just came up with Toby driving down here before the last meeting because it struck me like you have Moby Dick and he's really big. And so Toby would be like, kind of like Moby, but like tobacco worm. Toby, tobacco, Moby, the whale. But kids having a contest, and you know, kids can figure out if they can take the size of a tobacco worm and then measure that tobacco worm, and they can do a little 5th grade math, and they can figure out how much tobacco the thing would eat, which is a lot. And there's a lot of fun you can have with these kind of projects, and I would leave that up to the elementary and middle school teachers to, or the art commission to figure out those ways. But yeah, they usually stimulate a lot of school-related activity, and I'll come down and give lectures and stuff to the kids and PowerPoints. It's fun, you know, it's just part of the job.
Any other comments? And I'm looking for a motion about the tobacco worm. Harold.
Make a motion to approve the painting of the tobacco worm at the 15 West 4th Street location.
There's a motion to approve the proposed mural. Is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor? All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, just call me tomorrow.
Item number 5 is a presentation of a draft Town of Wendell capital improvement plan for 2018 to 2022.
Neither I or the next topic is quite as exciting. One of the things that we look at from a staff perspective each and every year is what our needs are going to be. It has been some time since the board has actually updated or approved a capital improvement plan update. And as we move forward, it's important for us to start looking and planning long range. As we knew in our last budget, there's a lot of items that we need, we don't have funds for, and as well as with the draft CIP, we have been working with each and every department. One of the things that to remember is that this is not the allocation of funds. This is more of a guide and a tool to look at when items may be coming to the end of their life cycle, or new needs that are going to be coming and arising due to the growth that we're experiencing. You will see that the total of the CIP from 2018-22 to 2022 is a little over $7 million. And as we have it currently laid out, what we would be looking at for the 2018 budget is 1.7 million, almost 1.8 million. Now, we understand that unless we are able to either do a bond or raise taxes tremendously, that is not going to happen. But what it does mean is it's a planning tool, and that we've got to start setting priorities and looking at those. The town capital improvement plan is only one step in the maintenance and development of town-owned facilities and infrastructure. The plan is not an approved budget for expenditures, but a tool. The CIP is used as a guide for decision-making, not only now, and we're getting ready. In September, we'll have our mid-year retreat. Is one of the reasons we want to start working on this now. We're not going to be looking for a decision this evening, just a place to get started and start talking. It is the Board of Commissioners that will appropriate funds in the annual budget. Again, this is not an appropriation document in any way. The items that we have listed will be considered in the upcoming budget. They are items that many of them, I'll just say that, like the brine system that we've looked at each and every year for snow and ice. It's something that we put in. We'll keep putting it in. It is a need, but it's one of those things that we can get by without. We have to work a little harder around it, but we're able to do. Those are the types of things. The remaining items are listed for tracking purposes and are to be considered in future funding and may have to be moved back. There are a few things, again, that we know that we're going to have to stay on track with in some form or fashion. It may not be that we can get it all at one time. Some of the things, just like we talked about in this year's budget, we did not purchase any new computers. Computers have a cycle, and they'll be cycling out. We're going to have to have new computers. Same with additional vehicles, that sort of thing. We've got to keep it, may be that we can't purchase all to keep on a certain cycle, but we will have to look at making some adjustments along the way. So I will be glad to take any questions that you have. Butch can help me with any of our inventory items that we have, or we can go back and do some research. What I would really like for you to do is, as you study through this, is to let us know of big ticket items that you may have in your mind for the upcoming budget. We're usually looking at these as one-time expenditures, not part of the operating budget, and for them to be over $10,000 in expense. Because we did have some things, I had a few examples. There were some things that would reach maybe that $10,000 threshold or be close, but they would not be considered a CIP item. So be glad to take any questions you might have.
See this document again in any form to, so we'll eventually vote on adopting the CIP.
Will we see this again and eventually vote?
Yes, ma'am. What we would like to do, again, it gives us some time now. We could bring it back at the next board meeting if everyone feels fairly comfortable. But really what we're looking for is we can take some time on this, have the board to look at what their items would be, and we could wait till the September retreat if we wanted to put it on an item, the agenda there, or it may be that we don't need to wait. But I think that working down that line and helping us to start planning for the next year would be a good goal. But at some time, yes, ma'am, we'd like to see it approved.
I have a variety of concerns in there. We're back on my favorite thing, which is the budget. But I think we need to rein in and retarget our goals, what we're looking at. And you might could win me over on a lot of these things, but based on how you prioritize them and how much service the community is going to get out of them. But by the quick math, we'd have to raise our tax rate 38 cents.
Yes.
To achieve this. It's not like legitimately raise it 38 cents. So this is something, well, one, we'll have more attendees at the next meeting because I just said raise taxes by 38 cents. But two, I think we could take some more time to discuss it and try to reprioritize some of this stuff.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions? Why don't we hang on to it?
Okay.
Got it.
We'll keep, yes, we'll be glad to. Thank you.
Right, 5A, discussion of citywide speed limit. I'm gonna let you start, Mr. Boyette.
Yes, I've been approached by several citizens about the speed limit on some of the neighborhood streets. Most of the streets that the town of Wendell maintains are not marked with any speed limit, which means that the citywide speed limit being 35, every neighborhood street is 35. If you try to drive 35 miles an hour down most neighborhood streets, you feel like you're going about Mach 5. I would like to task the town staff with coming up with a couple different proposals to see what we can do to perhaps bring the speed limit down inside the neighborhoods. The two ideas I had were to take neighborhoods on a request basis. Any neighborhood that wanted its speed limit lowered from 35 down to 25 or so, we could do it on a neighborhood by neighborhood basis, just based on requests. What would the pros of that be, the cons of that be, any difficulties that would give us What would it cost per mile for signage? How many signs do we have to have? What do the signs cost? The other idea I had was to simply change the citywide speed limit from 35 to 25. The signs at the city limits that say citywide speed limit 35 unless otherwise posted, if we change those to 25, if we change the entire town speed limit to 25, then that would cover all the neighborhoods. And the major roads like Wendell Boulevard, Selma Road, Wendell Falls Parkway, they would all remain their current speed limits because they are signed by the state. The state puts their own speed limit on those roads. And so Wendell Boulevard would remain at 35 where it is 35, 45 where it is 45. I think Old Zebulon is another one that would probably remain. Any other ideas that staff had? And any other ideas that anyone else on the board has? I'm open to it. We have had pedestrians hit in the past. I don't know that speeding was a huge factor in many of them. But I feel like with the lack of sidewalks in a lot of places, we have people walking in the roads and it becomes an issue. It becomes a safety issue. And so I would just like to see us to do something proactively instead of reactively.
Does anyone else have any comments? I'll comment. I agree that we need to do something. I've received numerous comments about it and complaints, and 2 or 3 roads in particular, and the signs, the things that monitor speed have been placed out there, and no, it isn't, every single car doesn't speed, but it doesn't take but one. And you know, I know it seems like they're going a lot faster than maybe they are, but people should be able to feel safe in their yards and not feel like cars are flying by them in their neighborhoods. It's a concern of mine. I share your concern about it, so I would like to talk about it. I don't think that just changing the speed limit is the only way to fix a problem, and I'm not saying we have a problem, but I think that it's part of a multifaceted thing that we could do to increase safety. Why not? Right? Is there any more comments about that? We'll move on to item number 6. And it's an update by Commissioner Joyner on the Wendell Fire Department Board of Directors meeting.
The fire department held its normally scheduled board meeting earlier this week. Reviewed the budget and discussed some new equipment they got in. That's about it.
That's it. All right. Thank you. And Commissioners' reports. We'll start with Commissioner Carroll.
No comments.
Commissioner Lutz.
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Barrett.
Yes, I just want to say, Mayor, I wasn't in the last meeting. I was out of town due to work, but the building looks great. So thank you to the staff and everyone who had a hand in that. It's a great looking boardroom.
Thank you. Commissioner Boyette.
Yes, I would like to congratulate NC State swimmer Ryan Held on his gold medal in the men's 4x100 freestyle relay.
Thank you. All right. I have just a couple quick things. Most importantly, I want to congratulate the 7 and 8 and 9 and 10-year-old boys all-star teams from the town of Wendell who won the state championship, both of their teams, a week or so ago. We really have quite a baseball tradition here in Wendell. I'm very proud of it. I'm proud of those young men. I was following it all day, and I'm very excited that they won. They worked really hard, and we're very proud of them. In fact, we're going to honor them on August 27th at 7:30 at the J. Ashley Wall Town Square. So please come out and help us congratulate the young boys. That's going to be followed by a movie, Zootopia, so bring your family and we'll have a nice evening out there celebrating our boys and having a movie together. I have one more thing I just added on real quickly. The Historical Society is planning a reverse raffle, and they're selling 250 tickets. And I learned right before this meeting tonight that I have the last 16. So that's going to make me real popular. If you want one, please let me know, because apparently they're selling really fast. I was out of town last week, and I just got my few to sell, and apparently I have the last of them. So let me know if you'd like to go. That's only 16 left out of 250. So looks to be a great evening, and I hope you'll all join us. That being said, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We're adjourned.